Welcome back to Humanity Works Podcast. This is the place where we want to bring sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity, rising above this madness which is called black culture. Always as usual, man, I thank you all for dropping through and rocking with me, man. I'm really grateful for you all, for all my 184 subscribers or whatever. Man, that's to me, that's an accomplishment. And I thank you all for constantly supporting me. And don't let the numbers fool you, man. There's more people viewing this show than YouTube will have you believe. Content suppression is a very real thing. If I was talking about something silly, stupid, dumb, or pitiful, I guarantee you the views and the algorithm, man, will work completely different. But, I'm not going to really harp on that and really get into that. It is what it is. We all know what it is, and we just going to keep it moving, right? Hope everybody's enjoying their evening today, their day. It was a rainy day in Georgia. Had to go out there and work, be the professional driver that I am, do the Smiths. What does they call it? The Smith system that I think a lot of people, four-wheel drivers, regular everyday people who drive cars and SUVs, you all should be made to take the Smith system test before you can renew your driver's license, because I swear on everything I love, the intelligence of society is very low. And how I read that is how people drive on the highway. And for the life of me, I don't know who the hell told people to hold up the middle lane when we all know those signs say slower traffic to the right. But you always got that one car, you always got that one truck that's always doing damn 45, 55 miles an hour. The max speed limit is 70. You in the middle lane doing 45, 50, 55 miles an hour. Listen, just because you want to drive that slow don't mean everybody else want to. But anyway, I was having a trucker moment. That really pisses me off. I wish you people would really stop doing that. Get your ass out the middle lane. Get in the right lane. That's for slower traffic. Please stay out my way. I'm going to play that Ludacris song, Move. I ain't going to say the B word. Man, welcome back to Humanity Works Podcast. Man, tell a problem solver to come on in. Like, share, subscribe to the show, put the word out. I already ran the handles. I'm on IG. If you're on IG, Humanity Works Podcast on IG, as well as the email. Any questions, any suggestions, constructive criticism, one-on-ones, or for any booking information for me to obtain, please send it to humanityworkspodcast@gmail.com. And I would kindly thank you. I don't know why I thought I had my mic on mute. So today, we're going to talk about Daddy's Girl, a stone cold killer. One thing that I know about a daughter is she loves her daddy. Little girls love their daddy, especially those who have been in their life since day one. And as time goes on and a father and a daughter develop a great relationship, what that father does with his daughter, the love he shows her, everything that he puts into his daughter mentally wise, still allowing the mother to cultivate the feminine side of that girl. The father is really what makes her a great woman to be, or a father not being her could make her a very destructive woman to be, full of anger, full of resentment, right? Living a life completely desolate, almost absent of accountability, because she's going to be disappointed in men because she's going to always be looking for that father figure, right? But one thing I know about a daughter, when she gets older, typically as people get older, moms, dads get older, they start to deal with health issues. Who's always there to take care of them? It's always the daughter. You understand? Who's the one that's always picking up the family legacies and organizing events and family reunions and, gatherings at church and always acknowledging people's kids and family and organizing events? It's always the women / the daughters. So a daughter, man, I hear men say it all the time. I want me a ride or die, blah, blah, blah. Listen, you ain't going to find no greater ride or die in your lifetime, black man, than your daughter. So if you have daughters, these are just a few suggestions and a few tips that I'm going to give to you. I remember when I found out that I had a daughter I didn't know anything about when I was young. Now, what's crazy, and I'm giving y'all a little bit of the book. The ebook is almost done. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about my first book. I'm going to make it an ebook, y'all. I ain't finna really go through the rigmarole, but it's going to be an ebook, and it's coming out real soon, but I'm going to give y'all a little bit of the book. So, when I was a young father, I found out I had another baby on the way because I was at work on a Friday night and got my check, and my check was like $57 and some change, when normally I was averaging $600, $700 a week. Now, that was pretty good money. I think it was, $19.93. That's pretty good money. So, got my check. My check was like $50 or something. And I went to the boss. I'm like, yo, man, my check is wrong. He looked and took at it. And he said, no, nigga, you got a baby. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, you see that thing there right there that says garnishment? You got somebody pregnant. And I'm like, damn. Ain't no way, impossible. Now, mind you, at this time, my daughter's mother, who I'm with at this time, we already have a child, 3 years old. And I get this paper, this opinion, well, my check first, saying that I have a daughter out there, right? Now, being with my daughter's mom, having a 3-year-old daughter, we never heard anything about this before. I didn't even know how to approach her. I was terrified. I was scared she was going to leave me. Back in them days, it was just a little different. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, my daughter's mama going to kill me because she a Scorpio too. She crazy. So I'm like, damn, how am I going to tell her this? So before I decided to tell her, I wanted to find out for myself. So I kept it a secret. So I went down to family services that Monday, went up to the place, and the said mother was named. So I was like, wow. Chills went through my body because I did have sexual history with this young lady, right? So, back in them days, a woman didn't have to do a paternity test. All you had to do was be named as a father in the state of Missouri, and you were automatically paying child support. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But I was also allowed to take a paternity. Now, you still could establish paternity, but the courts charged you for that. So, as the week went by, so, yeah, I'm just waiting, and I'm hoping like hell, like this can't be true. This can't be real. She had to, how we are, man. Like, it ain't my baby. You been with other people. You know how they go. And I'm thinking all this is going down, but that wasn't the case. Test came back 98.99%. So I got the contact, knew who the mother was. I was able to get in contact with her, got an address, got a number. The first time I seen my daughter was in East St. Louis, in the hood. And out of the shadows, out of a silhouette, and I was by myself with no gun, but I had to find out. I was nervous and terrified, but at the same time, I was excited to find out if I did have another daughter. I want to be involved in her life. And just standing in the street in East St. Louis, I seen her mama come out of the shadows. Her mama had them thick legs, so I seen them in the darkness. Them legs just came out of nowhere, and next thing you know, she sat a little girl down on the concrete barefoot, and she came sprinting like a track star, as if she known me since the day she'd been born. You know what I'm saying? Little fat feet and fat punchy legs, hair everywhere, head full of hair, smiling with dimples. And I'm like, damn. And I looked right at her, and it was just chilling, the stark resemblance. So I was terrified as a father, right? Make a long story short, quick, I'm forever grateful for her mother because I saw the living conditions, and I simply just asked her, if I could have a guardianship with my daughter to raise, I would never come after you for child support. My mind, I'm not a pro-court individual. I was never going to go to white folks to ask for money for a child that I made with a woman. Wasn't finna happen. Got my daughter, I eventually had to tell my other daughter's mother, like, yo, I have a daughter and she's the same age as our daughter. So that was a long thing. But the one thing that I have enjoyed being a father was raising girls, right? We all want boys. We all know it. All of us want boys. But a lot of times that's just not the case. Our family is still girl dominant. I don't know, not one cousin, neither one of my brothers, anybody that I can think of who doesn't have a daughter. A daughter is something very special. And the daughter's going to love her daddy till the day that she die, as long as you were a good man in her life, right? And our daughters can also break our heart. But I got some suggestions because it's been a thrill to raise my daughters. I have been through spells where me and my daughters, we didn't talk, we fell out. I'm just being transparent, right? Because this platform is moving towards self-determination, self-improvement for black men, for us to be the best fathers that we can be to raise our babies, because the target is the children, not adults, right? So I've had spells with my daughters where, we didn't talk. They didn't agree with some of the things that I told them maybe they should do, or some of my parenting tactics just turned them off to where they really didn't want anything to do with me. They wanted to create distance. And sometimes, our daughters and our sons, sometimes they get to a stage in life where they think they know more than you. And that's perfectly fine. That's all a part of parenting. That's all a part of being a father. And sometimes that's just what children do. We're living in a different day. We're living in a different time and era, so these things happen. But I want to encourage y'all, don't take it personal. Don't take it to heart. They do come back around. But my daughters have been everything for me. And my daughters have made me proud. They have made me happy. Just the things that they're doing in life. You understand? And my daughters are my greatest crown. They my jewels. Love my boys as well too, right? They understand this, but right now this is about the girls. And my girls, they always there for me. If I'm sick, they there for me. They pick up the phone. Daddy, how you doing? Get FaceTime. I talk to my grandson. So my daughters have loved me just unconditionally. It's the same as my mother, right? So your daughters are going to be the stone cold killers that you know within your life. But now in raising daughters, a lot of times men, they raise their daughters a particular type of way. A lot of men have fear. Some guys like to use fear tactics. The daughter going out on the prom with a date. she got the young man with her and he got a shotgun on his chest and all that stuff. Like, yo, that's corny. Don't do that, right? So I'm gonna give you a few suggestions. Now these are just my suggestions. These are not the end all be all. I am not an expert on parenting, right? So let me put that disclaimer out there. But I am a father of 4 girls. I am a true dad girl. My girls are cheerleading. My all but one have played ball. No, yeah, except Keita. She's the only one that has not played ball. So I'm a true dad girl. So I've been around things more so on the girl side as opposed to boys. I have 2 sons, but I have 4 daughters. So I'm a true dad girl. And, you know, even when it comes to coaching, I love fast pitch. I done fall in love with fast girls, fast pitch softball. And when it comes to basketball, I always would choose the girls side of basketball, right? So I'm just partial to girls. Girls are the greatest thing ever, man. Straight up. You have a daughter, thank God. You know what I'm saying? God sent you a dream. Shout out to all the daughters out there and the daughters who love their daddy. First suggestion, let's run it up. Be the first face your child see upon delivery. Now, you know, as I walked in my wisdom in my studies and things that I was conscious of as far as like reading and studying different things that you can do, somebody suggested to me that, I don't know if I read this from Baba Baruti in one of his books, but somebody was telling me about African cultivation when it comes to the child. Be the first face that they see when they're born. Now, I practiced this on the last child with Peaches, right? And I requested with the nurse before they took her mother in the delivery room, I want to be the first face that my baby sees. And I was allowed to do just that. When she came out of the womb, when Autumn opened her eyes, I was the first image that she saw. I think it worked wonders because our bond, our connection is like inseparable. Anybody that's been around us knows it's just, she's a true daddy's girl. When I'm asleep, sometimes at the house, I fall asleep, my baby always wraps me up. Or if she go in the kitchen and try to get her something to drink or to eat, she always asks me, Daddy, do you want something? Or she be like, Daddy, come watch a cartoon with me. Or Daddy, can we do this? You know what I'm saying? She's a true daddy's girl. Not saying my other daughters wasn't like that, but this is something that I practice. Now, many of you all say, well, what's the purpose behind that? The purpose behind that, when they come into the physical realm, you want to cultivate that eyesight with the first image of blackness, with the first image of yourself as the father, right? A baby, a soul is intelligent enough to read that energy, right? And I found that to be very effective as Autumn got older, right? So that's something that I just want to throw out there, and this can work for boys too. So I'm encouraging a lot of fathers, when you have a child on the way, on the day upon delivery, always ask the doctor to be the first face that they see, not a hot beaming light and not a bunch of doctors. Let your face be the first face that your child, oh man, that sounds better. Let your face be the first face that your child sees when they first come into the world, okay? Let's run it up. Be image conscious when it comes to your daughters, right? So, there I go with that right thing. Forgive me, I'm working on it. But be image conscious of your daughters. We live in a world where we are taught to hate ourselves. We're taught to hate our image. We don't like the fullness of our lips. We don't like the blackness of our skin. We don't like the nappiness of our hair. When most of you all who are Christians and who believe in Jesus as the Savior, if you go and study your Bible, it says he had hair like lamb's wool. Jesus' hair wasn't straight. So what's the problem with embracing woolly hair, nappy hair? Or even when you look at Samson, when you study the character Samson in the Bible, the Bible describes him as having 7 locks. Or like my boys down in the bottom, shout out to Miami. Or like my Puerto Rican teammates to say, Miami, they have these what they call wicks. Those are locks. You know what I'm saying? So that's God's science. That's God genetic, the God particle right there, right? So our girls need to be image conscious. Now, for me, this is me. I didn't raise my children up on European images when they were young. Every cartoon they had to see, well, it had to be a black cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Booba and Zaza is what Peaches used to watch on YouTube, just to throw a suggestion out there. And also, like, sometimes they would even watch old cartoons like Fat Albert. You understand? So it was just all about cultivating and them embracing their hair, embracing their features, right? And embrace, there I go again, and embracing everything that comes with them, that is fullness and in figure. So be image conscious of your daughters. That is very critical. I think a lot of, well, I'm not going to get into that, but be image conscious. Keep that in mind. Again, these are just suggestions. This worked for me. This may not work for you. All right. So keep that in mind. Every doll you should get should be a black doll, Afro puffs, and nappy hair. Every book they read should be a book that says something about their hair or the beauty of their skin or historic women that they could look up to as somebody to aspire to be like. So let's be image conscious when it comes to our daughters, because girls, women are phenomenal and they accomplish great things and they are born with a natural warrior spirit. So image is everything. You can cultivate them the right way or you can cultivate them the wrong way. The choice is yours. Next, perform constant displays of affection with the mother for them to witness what a healthy interaction between a man and a woman looks like. Look, when me and my kid's mother, obviously we didn't make it, but when we were together, I was always smacking their mama on the booty. You know, I was always coming up behind her, giving her kisses on the neck, hugging her, caressing her, you know, or we watching a movie, just, you know, hold her and just, you know, do certain things to let them know that's how a man is supposed to appreciate the presence of a woman. Or sometimes if the mom's in the kitchen cooking, I might try to do my part. Now, I ain't being brand new. All y'all know I can't cook, but I try to do my part. She say cut the onions up. I'd cut the onions up after I put on a Band-Aid from cutting my own damn finger. I do my best, right? So I want my daughters to see this. They have to see every example because, again, when they're young and influential, they're impressionable. And this is where they begin to form what life's supposed to look like or what they think life should be like. So always, if you're still with the kid's mom, the mother of your daughter or daughters, you all live in the same house setting or marry, make sure you show constant displays of affection to the mother. It's another form of self-love, okay? That is critical, all right? And if you all gonna have your days and have your arguments, try not to do it in front of the girl. That's obvious, right? Number 4, let's run it up. Show your daughters constant affection. Listen, I met my daughters, you know what I'm saying? We've always had a real conversation. I met all their boyfriends, all the supposed guys that they may have thought to marry or who would be marriage material, right? And I'm still friends with all the guys that they've dated or dealt with in the past to this day. But the one thing I always tell these young men when they meet my daughters, one guy was like, what did you do to raise your daughter to be the woman like that? I said, man, she don't have to yearn from affection for you. She's not desperate to have love from you. You know why? Because I already gave it to her. I already told her how beautiful she is 1,000,000 times. So when you tell her, not that it don't mean nothing, she's kind of desensitized to that. I've already shown her affection. You know what I'm saying? I've kissed my daughters on the forehead. I've hugged them. I mean, my brother said, you kiss your daughters? That's weird. Yes, I kissed my daughters. I showed them all kind of affection. Obviously, appropriate affection, correct? So I kiss them. I hug them. You know what I'm saying? I let them know how beautiful they are, how phenomenal they are. So when they get older, they don't have to go searching for this from a man. It's good to get it from a man, and eventually they're going to get it from a man that finds value in them, but their daddy has already broken that egg. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when they grow up, you know, every woman wants a husband. No woman really wants to be alone. I don't give a damn what they talk about on social media. No woman wants to be alone for real. No woman wants to really be single alone for real. Especially when they up in age and about to die. Everybody want to be booed up with somebody. But show your daughters so much affection. Show them so much love. Tell them so many encouraging things. So therefore, they don't yearn for these things. One of the biggest turnoffs to me is these grown ass women who just got to have attention, and it makes me think like, damn, what the hell did her daddy do? Did her daddy not give her this attention when she was a girl? Like, straight up. And I know that don't mean everybody who seeks attention didn't have a father, didn't do that. All right, I'm not shallow like that to believe that, but guys, show your daughters so much attention, show them so much affection, so you can desensitize any cat that come up to them to try to throw game at them. All right. Number 5, let's run it up. Tell them the truth about sex and sexuality by 6. Shock treatment to build their mind over emotions. All right. I was criticized as a young father for the things that I taught my daughters. I was criticized as a young father for a lot of the ways that I raised my children. Correct? And to this day, I have to low-key say that I'm looking like a genius. I ain't the perfect parent, and I ain't made all the right decisions. But people, we say, why would you teach them that? They too young to know that. No. I live by a code. See, here's the thing. If you don't teach them first about something that's so critical, that's going to impact their life, guess what? The world will, the TV will, the school systems will, because we know what's going on in the school system, and we know what they're trying to do with our children in the school system. So even with my daughters at 6, I told them about sex. I told them about a man and a woman. I told them what a union is supposed to look like. But we live in a totally different world, correct? So I broke them early. And you know, none of my daughters had any children before they had finished high school. None of my daughters really had children before they begin to establish themselves as a young individual. And I'm proud of every last one of them. That's not to say that makes them better than anybody else that's out here. But the one thing that I didn't hide them. I didn't lie to them about anything. I never told my daughters when they got a teenage age, I never told them not to have sex. I only told them what happens after they have sex. I'm going to say it again. I never told them not to have sex. I only told them what's going to happen after they have sex, and the choice is yours. You must be prepared for this young man to talk about you, to run your name in the mud, or to lie on you. You must be prepared that after you give this man the cookies, he probably don't want to deal with you no more. And with them understanding that, they want on their own to make their own decisions. Now, as far as shock treatment, what I used to do with my daughters, it's two things I used to do with my daughters, right? I used to walk through the mall with them, you know, back Jamestown Mall back in the day when it was open. And I would holler at different women with my daughter standing right there listening. I'd tell them, now listen, y'all see this chick? I'm finna holler at her. This is what it sounds like when a man is just trying to fuck you. So I'll walk up on this chick and I'll tell her, hey, how you doing, girl? You look good. Damn, you sexy as hell. Let me get your number. What's good with you? You know what I'm saying? Holler at me, right? Get the number. And I show my daughters. That's what it sounds like when a man just only wants to take you to bed. Then I had another conversation. This is what it sounds like when a man truly values you enough to date you. So I approached the young lady. I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name Red. You know, I seen you across the mall. I just wanted to come over and talk to you and see how you was doing. You looking rather nice today. Listen, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I was just wondering, maybe we can talk sometime. Can we go to Applebee's and maybe discuss some things? Maybe catch a show. You got children? I do too. Let's take them to the zoo or something together, right? They heard me talk in two different tongues. They were able to decipher who's trying to sleep with you and who's trying to date you. And I did this with my daughters young. Second of all of us are familiar with the artist Too Short. I used to ride around in my car when I picked my daughters up on the weekends, sometimes through weekdays from school, and I bumped Too Short. And I look in the rearview mirror and they looking at me crazy like, damn, what is he? I'm like, y'all hear what he's saying? What he's saying? He's like, Daddy, he's saying a B word. I said, are you a bitch? Daddy, no. Then why does it affect you? You only take aim and offense to something that you think that you are. I said, baby girl, both of y'all, are y'all bitches? No, I ain't a bitch, Dad. So now when he says bitch, does it bother you? No, it does not, Dad. It's just, he just sang it in the song, but he don't talk to me. Right then and there, I knew my daughters were gonna be on a good path. Cause why? Because let's keep it a buck. I didn't see guys get rejected by a woman because she don't want to give him the number of the ass, and what's the first thing come out of his mouth? Oh, bitch. And most of y'all respond to that. Nah, not my angels. Now I'm not saying that they probably haven't, but they know better. It's just a word. Laugh it off. My daddy desensitized me to that shit years ago. It's no game you can run on me because my daddy didn't talk the game. So this is when I say teach them early about the truths and about sexuality. You have to teach them about, the LGBT, because this is an aggressive move. They have to be known to this, because if they don't, they will be confused, right? So you have to expose them to it, not to turn them on to their lifestyle, but they must be made aware when you see that this is what's going on. The natural relationship is between a man and a woman, because you two can procreate. Now that's my stance, and I ain't wavering from it. So you two flag that comment. Fuck you, I don't care. Second of all, shock your daughters with some music or entertainment and break them, because right now it's a psychological attack on our children every day, and just children in general. I ain't gonna just say black kids only. Psychologically, they're attacking the children. My daddy always used to say, the one that rocks the cradle rules the world. So when you put the children in power over the parents and the adults, they're running and ruling the world. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Number 6, let's run it up. Allow your daughters the freedom or restriction the same as you. I just said now, I never told my daughters not to have sex. I only told them what happens after it. A lot of times we be strict on our daughters and we be loose with our sons. No, I was more strict on my sons than I was with my daughters. You know why? My daughters, if they did make a baby, what is it going to affect them? If my sons make a baby, they going to get thrown in child support. They automatically in debt before they even get their life started. Or being more strict on my sons, not understanding things that's out here, or getting set up, behind some ass. So I was more strict on my sons than I was for my daughters. So that's something that's me. I changed the culture. We know typically it's in reverse. Every young man they brought to me that they went out on a date with, a prom, I didn't stand there with no damn shotgun on my chest, hanging it. Most of y'all niggas that do that shit ain't gonna do it with a white man. So why would you do it with a young black man when he's coming to your house? He comes to your house to respectfully ask you to take his daughter out to a date, and you want to do some intimidating tactic bullshit. Just think about that, right? So anyway, don't be strict on your daughters. Allow them room and the freedom of restrictions from some things that most fathers just don't allow their daughters to do. Y'all ever know that girl that was sheltered coming up in the hood, and the parents always kept her sheltered in the crib, and she couldn't go nowhere and do nothing, and the minute she got a little ounce of freedom, had like 21 kids in 4 months? Yeah. So Don't ever hold your daughters as strict restrictions. Let them be. I'm not saying don't discipline them. I'm not saying don't give certain parameters and keep them within a certain circumference of safety and understanding, but take those restrictions off. You don't have to be strict with your daughters. They smart enough to figure it out, because we all know our daughter, just like women, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. Remember what Richard Pryor was saying? His daddy used to tell him, boy, don't you go out there and suck no. And Richard Pryor said he couldn't wait to suck. So it's Richard Pryor to go. So it's sort of like the same thing too, right? It's getting late. Got a game tonight. So it's sort of like the same dynamic, and y'all need to keep that in mind, all right? So don't be as strict. Let's keep it moving. Let's run it up. 7, allow your daughters to observe solving problems and household handyman work. You showed your daughters affection with the mother. That's what a relationship and an interaction should look like between a man and a woman. Also, show them what a man looks like in his masculinity and manhood, right? Show her when you changing the filters on the house for the heating and air units. Show her when you're changing a car tire. Show her when you're changing the oil. Show her when you got to go in there and fix the cabinet or fix the pipe or the plumbing. Show her when you're cutting a stump in the backyard so it don't break up the pipes and have a water line bust and be without water. You know, show them when you're trimming the tree. Just different things that they need to learn. Or when you're putting together a couch that you just bought, or a TV, or a stand, or a refrigerator, or installing dryers and washers. Let them see that. So therefore, when they start to date these young men, they got to hold these young men at a certain accountability. You say you that guy, prove it. You want me to, you know what I'm saying? You say you that guy, prove it to me. Because our girls must understand that masculinity is not good D. Masculinity is problem solving and being a handyman and being able to work in every situation. And they have to see that. You must define what a man looks like from the time your babies are born. 8, 9, 10 is critical. These kids are advanced. They're doing things we were not doing at their age. I see 2 and 3 year olds operating a cell phone. Come on, people. So these kids can be taught a lot of things in an accelerated manner early in life than when we were able to receive it. We're living in a totally different world now, people. All right. And so we must adjust. You got to change with the times. Let's move it on. Let's run it up. Now, daughters, self-defense classes and firearms training. Peaches don't know. She get pitching lessons, and she's about to get some karate lessons, whether she want to do it or not. These kids nowadays, they different. Even with other little girls in these school systems, they always want to pick fights. But mainly, you want your daughter to be able to defend themselves. If their brothers are not around, if they don't have an uncle around, they don't have a male cousin around, even if you're not around, they have to know how to defend themselves. Now, obviously, children can't be armed with firearms in public, but it's still wise to teach them how to man a firearm in case of a house invasion. If you and the mother ain't there out on the date night, they need to know these things. I know a lot of people frown upon it because there's a lot of accidental shootings. That's only because the parents don't properly educate their children with guns. Peaches right now knows everything about a gun. She knows the arrow, the bullet comes out. She can tell when it's loaded. She knows not to touch it. She knows the butt is. You can hand her a 12 gauge pump. She can rack it. I taught her this starting at 3, right? So, but obviously, no, I'm not going to put a gun in her hand. But as she gets older, she turns 21, she's going to be acclimated to use a firearm in her defense. Because listen, a lot of y'all cap. A lot of y'all men are mad because these women saying they are not being protected for blah, blah, blah reasons. There's truth behind it. I'm a dad, girl. I got 4 daughters. I look on social media. I look in the streets. These young men are beating the hell out of our women like they men. I've never seen that growing up. They're killing women left and right and the children. I never seen it at the rate it is now. So these women have a point when they say black women aren't protected. This is the truth. It ain't no sense of getting in your feelings. But then again, maybe y'all don't have daughters. Maybe you have boys which are bitch ass niggas, just like daughters. So I don't know. Little touchy subject for me. That's just something we need to acknowledge, but we need to correct that. So self-defense classes and firearms training, it is critical. All right. Let's run it up. Teach them to be self-sufficient, but not independent. So in other words, we all go through spells of being single. Your daughter might not have a young man in her life, or she might be in and out of relationships, sometimes in and out of beds. Some of y'all don't want to accept the fact that some of y'all daughters hoes, you know what I'm saying? They gonna have a hoe period, you know what I'm saying? I think all women and men have hoe periods, you know what I'm saying? I knew which one of my daughters was gonna have the child first. I just knew my daughters and I was on the money. But anyway, being transparent, Teach them self-sufficiency. So just like you learn, you show them how to fix a car tire. They need to know these things, and we do understand that a lot of these millennial men are just not men. They don't even, half these boys will sit in a car while the woman pump gas. He ain't hurting. He ain't on crutches. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He just don't want to stop texting like a little old bitch. The woman standing outside in the cold pumping gas, got to look around in case somebody try to carjack her. That's just sad. So let's understand one. Oh, my bad. Let's just understand one thing. Teach them to be self-sufficient. I don't preach for no woman to be like they don't need a man. I don't preach that bullshit. But at the same time, they do need to be self-sufficient because times have changed. These young men are not the same. Not all of them. It's probably really just a small portion. So they need to be self-sufficient but not independent. I don't teach that, all right? That's fool's gold. Last but not least, prepare to be a young papa because it's a different time in the era, right? It just is what it is. And embrace being a papa. You still with mama, embrace being a mama, It's not that, you still want your children to raise your children, but embrace being a papa. Many of us, our parents, we made our parents early papas and mamas. I know I made mine early mama and a papa, right? They grandkids got kids now, so that lets you know how early I got started. But just prepare to be a young papa and embrace that second generation and be there to support your daughter, because 9 times out of 10, it's more than likely that if she does have a child, I don't care if they have a baby revealing party, I don't care how much money you spent on the baby shower, I don't care how much you think her and the daddy is going to get married, they're more than likely are going to be starting out early in life as a single mom. Which means that she's going to have work schedules. And if she's still in school, she's going to have a school schedule. So be ready to embrace being a parent again. There's nothing wrong with it. I know some of y'all be like, well, as soon as they turn 18, I'm putting them out the house. You setting them up for a total failure. All right. Let's not be brand new. Sometimes we needed that push and that edge. Give your children that push and the edge too. It's only right and it's only fair. So be prepared to be a young papa. Listen, ain't nothing like a baby daughter. Ain't nothing like a daughter. Ain't nothing like a girl. They are phenomenal. They the ones that got the swag. They the ones that's hip. They the ones that got daddy back no matter what. And y'all see it all the time. Hey, don't you come around here talking crazy about my daddy. I kill for my daddy. I love my daddy. And them be some of the best women to marry. So understand this. Daddy's girl, stone cold killers. They become great in life. And see, they got strength. Women have certain strength that men just don't have. And they're mentally strong, they're wise, they're faster to mature, and we need to embrace the greatness in our daughters. All right? Not all of our daughters are in the streets. Not all of our daughters are bitches and hoes. Not all of our daughters are out to take every man. I told my daughter, I don't play that child support shit. Excuse me. I told you about the young man you made the baby with, you know what I'm saying? And he turned out to be exactly who I told you he was. But why now go get child support? That ain't cool. Just deal with it. You know what I mean? You made a decision. You slept with him. There's no need to go running to them white folks asking for some money with a baby that you made with a particular individual. Deal with it. I don't believe in that child support shit, even if it's with my own daughters, right? So I ain't being brand new about it because that child support system bit the hell out of me for years. But that's neither here nor there. My grandson's father, I rock with you. I ain't gonna judge you. You know what I'm saying? We still good. My granddaughters and my granddaughter, her father, we still good. We rock with you. They know I'm there for them to help build them up. If that's what my daughters are gonna be, and that's another thing. Sometimes you gotta let your daughter they gotta go through the heartbreak. Don't try to stop your daughters from heartbreak. Let them get that heartbreak. It's better that they get it in their 20s and their 40s. We got enough bitter ass women and just damaged ass women that they gonna be damaged to the day they die. I'm sick of that shit. We got enough of those. So allow your daughter that early life on heartbreak early in her life so she can get over and move on and be of substance. Right? Be of substance and not just of flesh. Well, listen, that's all I got. Hey, to my daughters, Chelsea, Keita, Peaches, and Bam, I love y'all. I love every last single one of y'all and all the men in my family. I love y'all daughters, my nieces, and all my female cousins, you know what I'm saying? Listen, women are awesome. Black women are awesome, right? And they come from us, but we can make them great if we just deal with and do what we have to do when they're young, they're impressionable. Listen, they the best. They the bomb. Listen, this is the place where we bringing sex ed back to the everyday hardworking man and woman, right? Who impact your life within close proximity. We're going to rise above this madness called black culture. And I value you all. I love you all, as I always say. Until next time, we gonna chit chat. I want y'all to be safe out there and love on them babies. Love on them babies. Love on them baby girls. On them baby girls. On them baby girls. Daddy's girl, Stone Cold Killer.